Hi, everyone. No one's on yet, but we'll wait. Let's see. And I can't. Maybe I should wear my glasses because I can't read if people are
We're building an audience for you.
building an audience for. I'm like, hey, everyone. Okay. Do you want to share it on your page? Or no, you're nervous? It's
Yeah.
okay.
We'll share it after.
We'll share it after. Okay, it's really late, and we have 2 people. Who's with us? 5 people. All right.
Oh.
So, hi everyone. We're Daniel Rios. This is Bella. Say hi, Bella.
Hi.
She is a good friend of mine, and I was just thinking about this morning. I've only known her for 7 months, but seems like forever. Good and bad. No, I'm just kidding. So tonight we're going to talk about the power of prayer. And Jessica, stop it. I asked Bella to come because I have really seen prayer change her life. So I'm excited for her to share with you guys a little bit. And then we're going to talk prayer strategies. We did a Bible study. I know, Jessica, we can see you. We did a Bible study all on prayer with the college group almost a year ago. So it was last spring. And it was seriously life-changing, I think, for everybody in the Bible study, including myself. And it all came from this movie called The War Room. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. And we did a book called The Battle Strategies of Prayer. So I'm going to give you guys some strategies. But first, my prayer life is kind of up and down. Like sometimes I'm really, really diligent and good about it. And other times I'm not so great at it. So Bella, let's talk about your prayer life. So little background, she came to our church, and her testimony is on my page, so you should watch it because it's really powerful, and we won't go over all of it tonight. But so prayer life, before, like, how long has it been since you've really focused on prayer in your life?
Like, when did I start to really, like, use prayer so powerfully? Maybe just, since it'd be, 7-8 weeks?
7-8 weeks.
Like
okay.
a couple months?
That's good. So we have a newbie here.
Mm-hmm.
How has it impacted your life?
I get not only just my life, but my family life. I didn't really realize that I don't know, that it was just so powerful. It's just kind of changed circumstances and just certain things, I guess. I don't know if that explains.
Alicia, hi. You know Alicia.
Oh, hi, Alicia. Oh, she's so cute.
So, before Bella started going to church more frequently and more powerfully and establishing a relationship with God a few months ago, really at Christmas time, and you've been praying for your family. And what have you been praying for your family?
I've been praying for my family to kind of get close to God and to...
We have an intruder.
It's like...
I trying to cover it with my head. The strange man just walked in the room. You weren't excited when I came on. Oh, yeah, we are, Jessica. I said hi. Sensitive Sally. Anyway, back to her family.
Okay. Well, I just prayed for my family to kind of... To get through these hard times that they were going through, and I think to continue to let... I don't want to say, continue to go to church.
So they weren't going to church.
They weren't. They're not very. They don't have a strong relationship with God, or they were on the fence about it. So I just continue to just pray that they would dip their feet in and would try to form some type of relationship. And I was really worried because when I left home, I was coming back up to Humboldt. I didn't know if it was just going to go back to normal. There was no Christian influence in their life when I was gone. So, but it has continued, and I know it's because of my prayers.
Yeah. Your brother texted you. Do you mind sharing about that?
No. My brother, he kind of lost his relationship with Jesus a few years ago, and he had texted me, and he called me and said that he said, I don't know if it's because you've been praying for me, but I just feel something inside me that's really just, I don't know what it is, but I want to try, and I do want to just try. And like he didn't know how to like say to me that he wants to have a relationship with God or he wants to go to better his life, but I knew what he was saying, and so it was kind of like emotional for me because I don't think he really understands how much I pray for him.
Special guest star. Sorry, he gets paid for his cameo.
Oh, hi,
so
Tavara. Oh.
It's me, Tavara. So we've seen some really powerful things in your prayer life, and so kind of just backtracking, like when we talk to like junior high about what prayer is, and they always just say it's just talking to God, and it's totally that way, and it can be the spontaneous time where throughout your day that you're just stopping and praying. I think whether you're a Christian or not, you know what prayer is, because when somebody really needs something, whether they believe in God or not, they're like, can you pray for me? Because people believe in the power of prayer, and it is just a open communication with God, who is all powerful and he can do anything, and it's that special time with him. But so we're going to talk about a couple prayer strategies tonight, maybe for beginners, maybe for people who are just like, I want to deepen my prayer. And for me, it's really changed in the last year too. And the movie The War Room really does show some really powerful examples, and it's kind of so brief with Bella tonight, but what she was sharing is super powerful. Okay, children, is this a like see who can like it more than the other? 'Cause I'm pretty sure only the youth group is watching right now, and that's fine, but annoying. Thanks. I'm gonna pray for you to stop now. We love you guys, and we love that you like the like button. But what was happening in Bella's life was an obedience to God, to have a communication. She had a worry for her family, but not just even a worry, I would say, but like a hunger for them to have what she has and what she has found with her relationship with God. So through that prayer, God has really, hi Tiffany, God has really answered a lot of her prayers, and not only answered her prayers, but to the point where I just really felt like this overwhelming power of God's presence when her brother's like, I don't know what you're praying for, but I can feel it. And our prayers do transcend into other people, and people do really feel the power of prayer. I think like Tavara is a great example, who's one of the like buttons. She was in a really bad accident. Oh my, how did you do that? Once. She was in a really bad accident, and I know I sat by her bedside praying for 3 days straight, and she is this vibrant young girl that runs around with the boys at youth group, and you wouldn't know that 7 months ago she was in a horrible car accident. So God can answer prayers, but basically what is praying? It's communication with God, and I think what has changed the most for me is I'm somebody who does pray throughout the day. And I think when we're worried or we're feeling that, we can like stop and be like, okay, God, just get me through this. I think 90% of prayers are like cries for God's needing something from God. Maybe 90% is a little high, but I think that's when we think about it, just as open prayer requests to God. And so today I just want to challenge everybody to not make it all about prayer requests. Supplications is what we call it. But more about spending quality time in God's presence. And it's just this time that's special. And so there's spontaneous prayer, and then there's some more directed prayer where you're setting aside, and this book did ask us to do this when we first did it. And I wasn't so good about doing this, and I'm better now, and it seems funny, but set a specific time each day that you're going to pray, and make it like any other appointment that you wouldn't miss. Bye, Alicia.
Bye, Alicia.
Your finger's probably broken. So make it an intentional time with God that you're not going to change. Write it in your planner. Put it in your phone, whatever. And it doesn't start with 10 minutes. Sometimes mine's an hour. Sometimes mine's less, which is not good. But start with 10 minutes and make it a time where you're not really even just asking of God, you're just wanting to be in his presence. And I think that can be so powerful too. And praising God, there's an acronym called ACTS. is it acts for this? Supplication, thanksgiving, confession, adoration, acts. So when you go into prayer with God, you give him adoration and praise, and then you confess things that you have, the sins that you've done, and then you follow again with thanksgiving for what God has given you, and you finish with supplication, meaning supplication being requests of God. And if you follow that, it's focusing on God's power, then it's taking you to forgiveness of your sins to clean you from that, and then thanksgiving, addressing the blessings that God has given you, and then asking for things of God. And it's a very powerful way to draw into the presence of God. But starting with that and the basics is really just finding that 10 minutes of uninterrupted, no phone, no nothing, time where you can just be in God's presence, and sometimes you don't even say anything. And I think this is something you've been trying to do, right? Yes.
Where you go, like, it's really quiet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's when it really changed, is when it's like, just like how they described it in War Room, like, go into a place that it's quiet and there's no distractions, and you go into, I think I started going into, like, my, like, bathroom would, like, turn the lights off, like, as weird as that sounds, but it's just, like, a place where there's no distractions, and you really feel like it's just a direct line of communication with God. And it's not, like half, praying, with all these distractions around and stuff. It's really and really believing that, like, God is answering your prayers, too.
Yeah, and that's a big one. Thanks for bringing that up. One thing that we talk about a lot is that we have faith that our prayers are being heard and answered. Because if you're praying and there's nothing, you have so much doubt behind it, well, you're not really agreeing that God is powerful and he's going to do it. Sometimes the answer is no, and we understand that too. But a couple other, like, basics to this more, like, structured kind of prayer is to have a prayer journal that you can write some stuff down in. And another really powerful thing, it's so powerful I'm not remembering what I was going to say. Wow, shocker. Something that you said, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really good. Uninterrupted, 10 minutes, start with 10 minutes, work your way up, believing in faith that you're going to receive the prayer. Quiet space. Oh boy, it'll come to me. But we could be on here for hours with this, with prayer, and we probably will talk about it again because it is so powerful. It is life-changing. Oh, this is where I was going. When you really start, there's a lot of people that say, like, I don't hear God's voice, I don't hear him. Well, the reason you don't hear him is because, and I've never really heard an audible voice, but I can, like, have a thought or a feeling that comes into play, and I know it's God speaking to me. But the reason that we don't hear from God is we're too busy talking to him. We don't spend quiet time just trying to hear his voice. We're always saying, God, please do this for this person, and this for this person, and if you could help me here and help me there. We're not rejoicing in the things he's already done, and we're not just sitting in his presence. So I think that 10 minutes of quiet time is not even about, like, you communicating with God. It's about hearing from him and asking him to meet you there. And one thing it's not even one thing I read it twice today, and it's people say it's like crazy or coincidence, but it is not crazy. It's God, right? That's what we always say in college. They go, it's so crazy. I'm like, no, it's God. It's not crazy. It's God. But Jesus spent more time in prayer than he did speaking, and that's said in the Bible, and it's so powerful because if Jesus, our perfect example, is coming to this earth and he goes more into quiet time with God to hear from God than he does actually speaking, it speaks volumes from how God can direct our lives through prayer. So I'm challenging us to stop thinking of prayer as just everything we're asking God to do for us, but we're simply just asking to hear from God and his wisdom and be in his presence. So, we can go back to the ACTS acronym and how we're supposed to formulate our prayers and do all this kind of stuff, but it's so much more basic than that. It's just being available to receive God's word and to be in his presence and to feel that. So the biggest challenge for this week is to spend those 10 minutes a day. That's not just 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day in quiet in the presence of God. Write out your journals. Read the word too before you start to pray, because then you can really hear from God in another way. And I feel like I haven't smiled very much today. It's because I'm hungry. Sorry, that's the brain on without eating. That's it. What else? Oh, Brian's on now. We started like an hour ago. Brian, thanks for joining the party. If anybody, and I always say this, no one ever participates. That's okay. I know you're just busy or something. If anybody has an answer to prayer, this is something we also do. We should talk about God sightings, because that's big, and answered prayers. Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah,
okay.
Down.
Tomorrow, or tonight, if you're a night owl, write down a list of prayers, and we call them prayer targets, things that you are asking of God. I know I just said be in his presence, and my hands are all over the screen. Sorry. Write down a list of prayer targets, and I still have mine from a year ago, and then as prayers get answers, cross them off, and it's amazing how much you cross off, and then you can add some and cross some more off. But when you really like put down these prayers that are on your heart on paper, and then you're able to see God working, like that's the most amazing thing, is seeing God's power revealed. And sometimes if we don't write them down, we don't realize that God has answered that prayer for us, and we just keep going and not thinking that God's working when he really is. And make it very detailed. Like, I don't know, I want to get 80% in my science class or something, and watch God work, because that's really when he's going to do that. And be in your prayer targets and that kind of thing. So 10 minutes, write your prayer targets, 10 minutes a day in quiet time with God. I think those are the two challenges. And then God sightings is something we do. It's kind of irrelevant to prayer, but it's also being able to see God's power. And I think that just really increases your faith when you can see God working. And God sighting is just moments in the day where you look for God at work. And we always share those nobody gave a God sighting tonight. That's not good. We talked about sin tonight, so, whew, this is a big one. Do you guys like seeing half of my face? Is that enjoyable to you? So God sightings are just moments in your day where you see God, and when you share them with people, then you're constantly looking for those God sightings throughout your day, and then you get to see God at work in just the littlest things. Sorry, I just talked for a very long time. Is there anything that you just are like the looks to this video? I'll just
No, I answered the question.
Is there anything else about prayer you want to share? Prayer brings a lot of peace to your life, because you are kind of slowing down life and being in God's presence, and so much affirmation and peace can be found in it. That's the biggest thing. I think spontaneous prayer is super good about that. Like if you're about to like scream at someone, you can just really like stop and be like, okay, God, I need you right now, or whatever. It can really help, road rage, those kinds of things.
Or like how you said today, we notice when our life starts to get a little chaotic, and we also really look at our prayer life and saying that it hasn't been very strong or consistent.
Yeah.
And there's also an effect.
The lack of prayer can lead to some chaos in our lives, for sure. I just really feel like it grounds me and keeps me centered, and it does make me see the power that God has in our lives. So with that being said, since we are really focused on prayer, if you have any prayer requests, that's another thing we do. We pray for each other. I'm always happy to add your prayer requests into my weekly prayers, and I'm sure Bella would too.
Yes.
Because that's great. I don't know what to say there. Just and I know it's kind of random tonight. It's a little later than we normally do it, but I will have a blog post tomorrow, and I'll share it with all these tips and tidbits about prayer. And I'll post the two books that I really love. One is called Battle Strategy of Prayer, and the other one is called Fervent. And that's a woman's strategy of prayer. Because I feel like we just have to pray a lot more for you men. And there's nobody watching right now. How do we feel about that?
Oh.
We had one and we lost him. Anyway, that's tomorrow. Thanks for checking us out. And I'll try next Sunday at 6. I feel like I've really failed. I might have to just change the time. I don't know. Sundays I'm tired. Real tired.
Oh yeah, you usually do it Sundays at 6.
Sundays at 6, and I'm tired. But Sundays are supposed to be the best time, because as you can see now, people are, asleep, I guess. I don't think I've ever not had a viewer. It's kind of sad. It says, keep going. Oh, there's a heart. So there is somebody out there. Okay. Well,
Ayla's a viewer.
Well, she's like she's an in-room viewer. I'm sure Lyndon's listening. He just likes to pretend like he's not. That is all. We're still spreading the word that you're live. This may take a minute. Facebook is so encouraging. It's like no one's watching, but we're still trying for you. That's very nice. Thank you, Facebook. So, next Sunday, hopefully, we have one. Hi. I don't know. Oh, and gone. This is just fun. How long can we sit? I had more viewers last night when I was talking about nothing. That's the real sad part. People are like, prayer is going to change your life. But
I know.
Last night I was talking about television shows and I had more dialogue. So that's funny. Anyway, we'll see you next week. And thanks, Bella, for hanging out with me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I'm like, thank you. Okay, bye.
Have a
We'll
big
pray
day.
for you. We'll be praying for all of you who aren't watching.
Pray that you watch.
Pray that you watch this. Okay, bye-bye.